You know how Nairobi life is, right? It's a beautiful, chaotic mess. But for my man Brayo, it was about to get a whole lot weirder. Brayo was your typical guy, believed in spreadsheets and traffic jams, not prophecies. That is, until he stumbled upon a street preacher near Archives. This preacher, eyes wide with a manic energy, pointed a bony finger right at Brayo and declared, "Your destiny will arrive on feathers and fire, heralded by a rooster." Brayo just scoffed. A rooster? In downtown Nairobi? But then it happened. A Matatu screeching to a halt, music blaring so loud the ground shook, and painted on its side, a massive flaming rooster wearing sunglasses. The name of this majestic beast of public transport? No break, no shame. It was a sign. An absurd, spray-painted, impossible-to-ignore sign. Despite every rational bone in his body screaming no, Brayo felt an invisible force pull him on board. The moment his feet hit the floor, the driver, who looked like he'd seen the beginning of time, turned around, grinned, and said, "Ah, the chosen one, welcome to the chaos." Suddenly, Brayo was hit by a bizarre hallucination. The air didn't smell like sweat and exhaust anymore. It smelled like spilled soda and destiny. The phrase maritime diplomacy flashed in his mind, followed by a vivid image of a Baltic cruise. What was happening? He stumbled off the Matatu and went to work. But his world had shifted. His boring office cubicle? Gone. He was now standing in a bustling laundromat. And his boss, Mr. Henderson? Also gone. In his place was a single Argyle sock named Gerald, who apparently held his performance review. That same afternoon, he got a call. He'd won an all-expenses-paid cruise. The one from his vision. The travel agent on the phone was brutally honest. "Look, it's probably a scam, but it could also be divine intervention. You in?" Brayo, in his new sock boss reality, just said yes. Life became a series of surreal encounters. His landlord, it turned out, was the high priest of a cult that worshipped a leaking pipe in the hallway. Rent wasn't paid in shillings, but in hymns of devotion. On the cruise, the ship's captain spoke only in confusing parables about the sea and existential dread. And a small child playing on the deck looked Brayo dead in the eye and calmly stated, "We're all just appetizers for the void." Feeling completely lost, Brayo found himself back in Nairobi. And as fate would have it, the no-break, no-shame Matatu pulled up again. This time he sat next to a barber who was calmly trimming his own beard with a pair of tiny scissors. The barber looked at Brayo's frazzled expression and said, "Life is like hair, my friend. You either shape it or it shapes you." And just like that, something clicked. Brayo was done being shaped. He went back to his apartment, and instead of singing to the leaking pipe, he paid his rent with a heartfelt, slightly ridiculous poem he wrote on the spot. Miraculously, the pipe stopped leaking, and the cult, their deity gone, disbanded in confusion. He was finally